What's up, YouTube? It's Battlescar. I'm really not a very big germaphobe or anything like that, but I've never been the biggest fan of cruise ships. One of the reasons being, it doesn't seem like it's all that fun if you don't like gambling or drinking or swimming in pools. But another reason is that it makes me a bit uneasy that there are so many people spending so much time in such close quarters with each other and they share facilities and I don't know, it makes it all the more scary though that for the last week or so there has been a cruise ship anchored off the coast of Cape Verde that has been experiencing much less of a pleasant cruise in the Atlantic and something much more akin to an unofficial sequel to the pandemic, where they've had a very serious outbreak of the Hantavirus. That's a virus that has a serious potential for contagion and a high mortality rate. As of today, there have been 3 fatalities and a further 2 cases that has been laboratory confirmed, along with 5 others that has also been suspected. It's gotten serious enough that the World Health Organization has also stepped in to try and contain the issue, with some of the contact tracing already showing that previous flight passengers may also have been exposed. Now, at the moment, most of the passengers have been quarantined and are isolated strictly in their cabins and their rooms on the cruise ship, but none of the surrounding ports are allowing them to dock until the situation has been resolved.
This morning, the crisis at sea. 3 dead after a suspected hantavirus outbreak on a luxury cruise ship, and there are at least 4 other suspected cases, including a critically ill patient. The cruise line Oceanwide Expeditions says medics are working to evacuate sick passengers from the Dutch ship, which is currently anchored off Cape Verde in Africa.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home.
Jake Rosemarin, one of 17 Americans trapped on board, making this plea on social media.
And what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people. People with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home.
The ship left Argentina 3 weeks ago with about 150 on board, originally bound for Antarctica. According to the cruise line, the first case, a Dutch passenger, presented symptoms on April 6th and died April 11th. The World Health Organization says his wife fell ill on the repatriation flight to Johannesburg and died in the emergency department 2 weeks later. Now, contact tracing for passengers on that flight has been initiated. On May 2nd, another passenger, a German national, also died. Hantavirus is a rare but possibly deadly illness spread by exposure to rodents. Experts say person-to-person transmission is even rarer. For now, passengers are being told to stay in their cabins.
As you can tell from the reaction and the response from that one passenger on board, this is a very scary and very difficult situation to be in. And I'm genuinely not envious to be in their position. What makes the situation much more dangerous, though, is the type of hantavirus that is currently present on board. Now, you'll have to trust me that I'm no scientist or any person with a biomedical background or anything, and if I was, I definitely should be doing something more than making YouTube videos. But following the indication of the outbreak, the South African NICD, which is the National Institute for Communicable Diseases, has confirmed that the strain that is present on the cruise ship is the Andes strain of the hantavirus. Now, I hate to say it, but this is bad news for everyone on board because this is the only known strain of hantavirus that is capable to have a rare human-to-human transmission. In the news report, you would have seen that they just said that they mentioned it being spread via rodents or rats, but this strain can spread from person to person. However, the slight silver lining, is that it requires very close, prolonged contact. Now, the reason why I say very slight silver lining is because, of course, a cruise ship or a flight before getting on a cruise ship or something similar is unfortunately a very great way to get very close, prolonged contact with other people. From what I have read It seems that the World Health Organization is working on the assumption that the initial contact to the strain happened off ship, likely in the South Atlantic islands, where people might have been sharing cabins or had similar contact. So they're working hard to do contact tracing to contain whoever might have been exposed and stop a last of a style event from happening. Now, I say that tongue in cheek because while the Hantavirus is a virus with a very scary multi-week incubation period and a staggering 40% mortality rate. Like, that's a terrifying number compared to COVID, for example, that only had a mortality rate of around 2%. 40% is terrifying. But the World Health Organization has consistently said that the likelihood of this spreading largely and becoming kind of like a pandemic style event is marked as very low on their scale. And while you can say and ask, well, what if they're just trying to say that to keep everybody calm? But it does seem to be backed up by most other sources as well. At the moment, it seems that the cruise ship's next plan of action is to go to the Spanish Canary Islands in around under a week to finally dock and get some help because the Spanish government and medical staff have agreed to help them there and give everyone screening and containment and the necessary medical support, which is very, very good news. All in all, it's a very scary situation to be in, and my thoughts really do go out to everybody that is on this cruise ship, stuck, terrified, and isolated in their rooms. But if everything can be believed, then hopefully it will not pose a serious large scale contagion issue. Anyway, just wanted to talk about it. Have a good one. Cheers.